And we will get started in just a minute. If you guys didn't sign in, please do that. All right, welcome to Barre. My name is Carly King. I'm the physical therapist assistant here. I've also been a trainer for about 10 years, so they let me kind of hop in and help with some of these fun classes. I just got certified in Barre, so if it's not as smooth today, that's why. But we're going to get going. For those of my people that are following on YouTube, you're going to want to be doing some of these moves next to a counter, especially when we get to the bar thing. I'll try my best to do an example, but you guys can always look in the mirror too for what people are doing. All right, we are starting with our warm-up, so make sure you've got clear spot right here. We're going to bring our arms into a T position here. Abs are engaged, just a slight bend in the elbows, a little bit of rounding, and lifting. So it's knees up, nice and sharp movements, trying to go to the beat of the music. There we go. Nice. Depending on your flexibility, you can start to turn that into a little bit more of a kick. Legs just a little bit straighter. And bring our arms up. Good. Nice. Keeping the core engaged the whole time. I want your torso upright, so we don't want to see any bending forward. Okay, we're going to add in an arm pull in 2. There's 1 and 2. Pulling down and up. Down. Good. A little bit faster as you start to feel warm. Trying to move into the range. Going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands together, and we're squatting. Good. Pushing the hips back, squeezing the glutes as you go down, and as you push through your heels coming up. All right, we're gonna start to lift one heel. So you're gonna lift, shift your weight over, and up, shift, lift the other heel, and down. Almost like you're riding up on the pedals on a bike. Good. Going for 5, 4, 3, 2. You're going to pick a side. Here, lift one heel, and then we're pulsing. Hips back. Weight shifted to one side. And just a nice pulse. And shift to the other side, and we're pulsing again. All right, and then we're going back up and down, side to side. We're gonna go for about 10 more here. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Grabbing your weights. All right, starting with bicep curls. Really lightweight, but we're gonna try and burn out each muscle group before we move on to the next one. So it's high repetitions and doing some different positions with each one. So just basic curl right here. I want you guys to think about creating tension with your own biceps. So you're really pulling up and you're pushing down. Pulling up, pushing down. Good. Quads are staying engaged. I don't want to see any tossing back. Nice job, guys. And we're going to bring our stance wide here. So toes pointing almost to like corners of the room. We're coming down. Arms are up here. And we're curling in. Core is engaged again. Throwing in a little bit of some shoulder work here. Staying nice and low. If you can get a little bit lower, sink just a little bit more. Pulling that belly button into your spine. Keep going. We got a few more. And bring arms out to the side. Same thing, keeping our nice low position here. Working our upper body, but also working our lower body here. Again, sink another, just an inch lower. And going for 3, 2, 1. Coming back to center here. Toes are gonna be they're gonna be forward. We're gonna be about shoulder width apart. Coming down, curl in a squat, and back up. Pushing the hips back, hinging from the hips. As you squat down, you're curling up. All right, keep going. We're about to move into triceps. We'll go for 3, 2, 1. Getting a nice bend from the hips here, so I want you guys to think of a little bit of a curve in your back. Abs are pulled in. Elbows are going to stay glued to your side, and we're kicking back. Good. Cores are still engaged. The more you hinge forward, which depends a little bit on your hamstring length, the harder it's going to be because we're going against gravity. You have your core engaged, you're squeezing your glutes a little bit to keep you in this position. And just kicking back. Our next move, we're gonna go into just these little kicks. So it's gonna be a very small bend in the elbow and then back into extension. So that's gonna look like here, little tiny bend, kick back. Little tiny bend, kick back. Good. Just barely breaking the elbow and kicking back. Good, keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the arms straight, coming down to about your knees and straight back. Knees, straight back. Same good position, maybe feeling a little bit of a burn in the legs. Keep going, nice and strong here. 3, 2, 1, and back to our kickbacks. Full range of motion. Bringing the weights up towards your armpits, and then nice kick back and control as it comes back forward. We're going for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Staying in this position, arms are in front of us. We pull the elbows back past the body, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Working our back muscles, our postural muscles. Things that help us sit and stand up straight. And then we're gonna switch to a back fly. So hands are down here, and we slight bend in the elbows as we pull back. And just to make it a little bit harder and incorporate some balance, pick a leg, and we're going single leg. And going right back to our rows. If you need to, you can have the back toe just tap down a little bit. Same hinge, forward at the hip, working some stability into that standing leg. Let's go for 3, 2, 1, and switch to your back fly. Same leg, and then we switch. Two more. There's 1 and 2. Switching legs. Okay, back to our row. Pull back and forward. Control on the motion as the weights are coming down. 3, 2, 1, and fly. And last 2, and then we're done with arms. There's 1 and 2. Put your weights down. We're going right into a plank series. So we're gonna start in a side plank. 2 options. You can be legs up here, modified, we're a knee down here. We're gonna start with thread the needle. So either feet stacked, you can have one foot in front of the other, or bring that knee down. You're reaching under and coming back up. Reach under and up. Feeling the obliques. Going 2 more, and then we're rolling onto our front. There's 1 and 2, and roll onto the front. We're on our forearms, or your up straight arms. Holding here, drop the knees down, and pull back up. Knees down, pull back up. Thinking about keeping a nice flat back, so your pelvis is almost a little bit tucked, trying to bring your pubic bone towards your belly button. And keep going. Our next move is switching to the other side, side planks, going back to the thread the needle. Go 3, 2, and 1. Other side. On your forearm, feet stacked, feet in front of each other or down on a knee. Reaching under and up. Got 2 more. There's 1 and 2. All right, we're moving back to the bar. So if your yoga mat is a little bit close to the bar, go ahead and scoot it forward and everybody pick a spot. We're gonna start, let's have everybody start facing this way, so just one hand on the bar for balance. There should be enough room. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Feet are just right in front of you, about hip width apart. We're coming up on our toes. So you got one hand on the bar for balance if you're at home, maybe a countertop or a high chair. Now with that outside arm, bring it up. Thinking about keeping your shoulders down and back and squeezed. Core's engaged, everything's staying really stable. And let's go for 3 more here, and then we're gonna stay at the top and we're gonna pulse. There's 1, 2, and 3 up at the top. and you're just the top about half an inch and down an inch. Up and down, little pulses, good. Keeping the core engaged. If you want a little bit more of a balance challenge, bring that other hand up. Good. Go 3, 2, 1. Back down. Turning your feet into a V position so your heels are touching, toes are facing, if you imagined 2 corners of a room, about there. Bring that other hand up, and we're coming back into those full calf raises. Rocking up onto the toes, trying not to rock back onto the heels, but keeping the weight forward just a little bit. Again, you can bring that second arm up, a little bit more of a balance challenge. We go 3, 2, stay at the top, and 1, stay up there and pulse. Up an inch, down an inch. Remember to breathe. Keep going. Let's go for 3, 2, 1, and down. All right, we're facing the bar. You guys are going to go into a chair position. So your hips are about over your knees are about over your ankles. You're coming down and back up. So there's not a ton of weight in the hands, but just enough to keep you balanced and to keep you from falling backwards. Good. And we're just squatting here, really pushing the hips back. For those watching live, you're just doing squats right here. Arms out in front, core's engaged. Let's pick up the tempo just a little bit. Now for those of you on the bar, on your next one, come down and hold. Good, and pulse. So just little pulses, good. Pushing the hips back, core's engaged. Keep pulsing, keep pulsing. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now come up on your toes. Going back into that chair position. So stay up on your toes the whole time and squat back down. Good. Working the quads, the glutes, the calves, the abs. Good, try and keep those heels nice and lifted. Just a little bit of weight in the hands. And on your next one, come down and hold. Keep your heels up, and you're pulsing again. Feel the burn. Working those small muscles. 3, 2, 1. Rest for just a minute. Let me show you guys what you're doing next. So you're gonna be in a chair position again. We're gonna start by working the right side. So the left leg is gonna step back. It's gonna be chair, lunge, chair, lunge. Make sense? Okay. Find your position, your chair position, and squat back. Step back with the left, working the right, into a lunge, back up into chair, back down into your lunge, chair, lunge, chair, lunge. We're going 3 more. There's 1, 2, and 3. Step the left leg back and hold it. Good, right leg out front. And now drop the back knee down and back up. A lunge, static lunge in place. Pushing up through the front heel. Work the glutes. Keep your shoulders and chest up and back. Good posture. Let's go 3, 2, 1. Now we got to do the left side. Come back into your chair position. So we've got chair, step back with the right, chair, step back with the right. Working on getting the heart rate up, while also working the big muscles and the little stabilizing muscles. Let's go. 3, 2, and 1. Bring the right foot back and hold, and we're up and down. Push up through the front heel. Take a minute to catch your breath if you need to. It's at your own pace. 3, 2, and 1. Whew. All right. Grab a sip of water if you want one. Our next series on the bar, we're going to be in a side plank position here, starting with some hip abduction. So find your side plank. Good. And lifting that outside leg. So keeping the belly button pulled in and firm. For those at home, you're doing this on a mat. Knee down and lifting. So you should feel the inside hip and the outside hip working. In 2, we're going to hold the leg up and pulse. That's 1 and 2. Hold it up high and little pulses. Keep going, keep going. You're only up an inch, down an inch. And now pulsing backwards. Squeeze the glutes and push back. Three, 2, 1. Facing the bar. Both hands, you're straight out here. And then let's start with our right side. You're squeezing back. At home, you're on a mat. You can be down on your knees or up on your toes, just getting a good squeeze of the glute. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides. So still facing the bar, just switching the kickback leg. Making sure the abs are staying pulled in. Three, 2, 1. Side plank on the other side. Starting with our hip abduction, lifting the leg away. Two more. There's 1 and 2. Hold it up and pulse. Three, 2, 1, and kick back. Little pulses back, squeezing the glute max. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, and down. Come back down to your mats. We're on our backs. All right, starting with a full bridge here. So your core is engaged, squeezing the glutes, pushing up from the heels. Lift, squeeze, hold for just a second, and then back down. Making sure that belly button is staying pulled in towards your spine. In 2, we're going to hold it at the top and pulse. There's 1 and 2. Hold, and then again, up an inch, down an inch. Hands can be down by your side to stabilize. If you want to make it harder, hands are out in front of you. Lift it up. Keep pulsing here. Bring the knees together And again, pulse. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it at the top. Hands down by your sides for balance. Keeping the hips lifted and marching. So the leg that is planted, you're squeezing that glute to hold your hips level. Two more. 1, 2, keep the hips up, and you're back to your pulse. Knees about hip width apart. Hands in the air to make it a little bit more challenging. And we're going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Full range all the way back down and lift up. Got 5 more here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down and rest. Whew. Okay, we're rolling over, going into a little bit of a stretch. If there's anybody that needed to leave right at 12:30, go ahead and clean up and you can head out. Otherwise, we are coming into a down dog position. So hands under our shoulders, pushing the hips up in the air. If you have tight hamstrings, put a little bit of a bend in the knee so that we're keeping a neutral spine through the low back, and you're pushing your hips up in the air. Letting your thoracic spine sink down just a little bit, and then start to kind of pedal your feet so we can feel a little bit of a stretch in the calf muscles. And go back to just holding that down dog. Let your breath come back down. We're gonna bring one knee up into a pigeon pose. So kind of tuck, yep, you guys got it. Let the back leg drop. Try and let your front hip drop. If you're really tight, like me, it's probably not going to drop. And if you need a little bit more stretch, sink into it here. We're gonna go into a low pigeon and then we'll go into a high pigeon to get the hip flexors a little bit. And just breathing into it. And now push your hands up. Squeeze your back glute of the leg that's straight. Feel it just working a little bit into your hip flexors. Okay, you're pushing back up into a down dog. Hold for just a second and then switch. Bring the other leg forward. And sink down nice and low. And then bring your arms up straight. Squeeze the back glute of the leg that's straight. Feel it in your hip flexors just a little bit here. All right, come down, legs out, front, stretching our hamstrings. So we're gonna go one leg out straight. I want you guys to turn your torso so that you're facing it and then really focus on hinging at the hip. So we don't really want to bend through our backs here. Staying up nice and tall, even if it means you're not going to reach quite as far. Good. And switch sides, bring the other leg out front. Same thing, turn your torso so that you're facing that foot. And just a gentle reach out. And then last one, bringing our legs together and letting the knees come down. Stretch our adductors. And hang on to your ankles. If you need a little bit of overpressure, you can push down on the insides of your knees. But mostly just trying to stay nice and upright still. Good. Keeping our neutral spine. All right, you guys are all done. Thank you for coming today. My goal for this class is for it to get a little bit harder as the 6-week session goes on. Throw in a little bit more props with some balls and bands and fun stuff. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be around for a few minutes. You're welcome.